All right, welcome back to Radio Wasteland and our guest, William Ramsey. We're talking about Aleister Crowley, 9/11, and the New World Order, and I'm finally able to put my brain around what I was trying to figure out from before. So we're talking about how they're carrying the torch from Aleister Crowley. And we're talking about the Bushes, and I can see a Bush-Clinton comparison there. But by the time we get to Trump, it feels like we're very anti that. And so I was trying to figure out if Trump was like a new hidden spearhead behind this, or if Trump means that they failed. And really, where do Obama and Trump fall into this game plan?
That's a great question. I do think that Obama had CIA connections, so I think that he was the appropriate handoff after the 8 years of Bush's assaults on the Constitution and really the financial undermining of the American people, intentional by design undermining of the American people. So
and a lot of people seem to have made that connection between Bush, Obama, the Clintons. They seem to have piled them together.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that Trump is kind of an anomaly. I don't think he was expected to win, to be honest with you. I think they were trying to hand it back to Hillary Clinton to keep this whole lineage going. So I expected Hillary Clinton to win. And I think Trump is very
you and everybody else.
Politician. Pardon me?
You and everybody else.
Yeah. So I think that Trump is kind of a breath of fresh air in the sense that he isn't part of this cabal. I think that Trump's real personality really is kind of an outsider. He's not a part of the Ivy League system or this Yale system, really. And so he doesn't seem to have a problem bristling or being in conflict with them. And the entirety, if you look at his staff, they're in the Republican Party, but there's nobody from the Bush-Clinton machine, you know, mainly the Bush-Clinton people who should have stayed over to a new Republican administration. So I do think something unique is happening in the American experience, and I do think it was a revolutionary change that was from a groundswell of people who were keying into the fixing and gaming of the system. And I do think that the whole Russia myth and all this is evidence or clear and obvious evidence of the capacity to game the system and to get people's own elite minions into certain positions of power. So Trump, to me, is much different than Obama. It's pretty clear Obama did not like Trump. And actually, you can almost place I think Trump always had ambitions to become president. I think he had the capacity and charisma to do it. I think that I forgot which, it was one of the dinners where Obama was insulting Trump and said, "You'll never be president." And that could have been a turning point in American history right there, because Trump was pissed.
I think I saw that. I think I knew what you're talking about.
It was correspondence.
So I do think that there's a clean break between Obama and Trump, but there's not a clean break between Obama and the Bush family. So
yeah, there's definitely something to be said there for institutionalized politicians, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Obama. Look at how much of a golden boy he was. He really wasn't from some kind of thing. Where did he come from? How did he get ahead? How did he beat out Hillary Clinton? There's a lot of questions there, but I think that his mom or somebody like that worked for the CIA or was a CIA asset. He had an interesting growing up phase too. So I do think that these guys are all, if you look at, he gave an initial speech, Obama did, I think it was in Berlin, with all kinds of occult references. So the occultism of the Bush family and Obama's, I think that Trump knows of some of the stuff, but he doesn't seem to be really acting upon these occult principles of the slave shall serve. If you look at my book, Prophet of Evil, you'll see that Bush himself, like his aircraft carrier's a 77, so he's got all this numerology that the insiders know, and he wears hats with 77s on them. So Bush Sr., before he died, was heavily involved in all that stuff, and the same with the Rockefeller family. If you want to break down 30 Rock or anything like that. So Trump is an anomaly, so something refreshing is happening with him that I think is really a boon to Americans in a lot of ways.
Well, we're coming up on another election here. How do you think this is going to go down? I mean, it seems like with powers and stuff like this, you think they would just, I don't want to say anything that'll get people all upset, but they'd JFK him. with these levels of power.
I mean, one of the first things, right, that's a great question. I just did a great show on my podcast interviewing Jefferson Morley about James Jesus Angleton, who's neck deep in the JFK assassination. What Trump did when he first came into office is he basically he gelded. What did he do? He basically put women in positions of power at the CIA. It's something for a first. They're all women, so he's clearly thinking he could have get JFK'd. And I think that the whole Russia attack, which is really a vicious, deceptive attack, is an attempt to try to get him out of office. So I think he's up against very powerful institutional forces, and I think that he would be happy if Biden actually ran against him, because he's about as corrupt as they come. A long-term, multi-decade swamp dweller who looks like he has his sons taking bribes for him from China and Ukraine. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do think that he hopes to be up against Biden. I don't see that working out.
I don't think Biden can win. I think it's really Buttigieg or somebody who's an outsider is really the people who have the best chance.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so what's coming up next for you? What's we're coming up on the end of the show here.
This is really my first. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, I was just saying we're coming up on the end of the show here. I want to, be able to get the word out about where people can find out more about you and what's coming up next for you.
Well, this was my first book, so I've written Children of the Beast about Crowley's influence upon the 20th century. I also wrote about a criminal case, the West Memphis 3, the deceptions involved in that. I recently put out, in 2017, a book about the Smiley Face Killers, this rash of murders of about 200 to 300 men in the U.S. alone that have ended up thrown dead and thrown in water. You can see that on Vimeo, and also my Occult Hollywood Volume 2 is on Vimeo. So my more recent documentaries are on Vimeo, and all my books are available on Amazon. And I do post a lot on Twitter and Facebook.
All right. Well, we will definitely make it a point to get some links up to these things. This is our first time really dealing with the occult on the show, so we really enjoyed that. And 9/11, I think maybe we've touched on the topic once before. It seems
not really, actually.
Yeah, so we've really enjoyed having you on, William. Yeah, it's always there's only so much UFOs and Bigfoot people can talk with,
Well,
true.
If you have me back on, we can talk about Children of the Beast, or if you want to do a creepy show about a serial killing, look into the Smiley Face Killers, or look into the information, because I do believe that there's an underground group of people who are loosely connected committing the same crime in the United States.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds like the winner for us. You've been listening to William Ramsey here on Radio Wasteland. It's been a really good time. Check us out.